Hello, hello to all of our wonderful change makers in unity for wellness and peace. We are back today with another amazing interview. And y'all know by now, I just love celebrating change makers. And I
Mm.
got to tell you, Miss Vera has been a lot of fun to get to know. So I can't wait for you to hear what this lady is up to. So, welcome, Vera. We are so excited to have you with us today.
Oh, Cheyenne, thank you so much for having me. I am thrilled to be here.
Awesome, awesome. Well, please tell people about what you are up to and what genuinely makes you so amazing.
I love that question, right? So many things make me so amazing.
Well,
So,
let's hear
what
about that current project, though.
you
It's a
do, right?
good one.
I know that's what I'm here for, right? So, currently, after 67 years of being on the earth, I have written a book, a new book, and I am getting ready to launch it. And that is currently what I'm doing at the moment.
Mhm.
So, would you like to
Well,
know about the book?
yes, tell us the title. Tell us what inspired it.
I don't even know where to begin. The title of the book is really interesting because it kind of just stops people in their track. But I just want to give you this little story before I drop the title.
Okay.
Um, in 2020, I was with my children, my son and his wife and family, and my daughter and her family and husband. We were in a cabin in Prescott, in Tucson, in Arizona. It was during COVID, and we were making dinner, and we were all packed in this house, and all the kids, and it was a little bit chaotic. And out of the blue, and for really no apparent reason, I said, you guys, I'm going to write a book one day, and the name of it is going to be Don't Wait Until Your Mother is Dead. And they stopped and they looked at me, and that was it. And I was on this journey already, this spiritual healing journey, and 5 years later, my book is coming out. It'll be released on September 9th, and the title is Don't Wait Until Your Mother is Dead. But the subtitle is really what makes the impact because it's not about her, it's about you. Right?
Mm.
So it has that little bit of a twist to it because whether you're the daughter, whether you're the mother, whether you're both, a grandmother, whether you're a father or a brother, the book is for everybody because it's about the human experience
Mm.
and the way we've been taught to lie to ourselves. And
Mm.
it's raw and it's real. And it's just been an incredible experience that I'm getting back from people who are reading this book that think, oh my God, Vera, why did you write that? And then they're like, oh my God, Vera, thank you for writing what you wrote.
Oh my goodness. So I don't think I heard the subtitle. What is the subtitle?
It's not about her,
It's not about her.
it's
Got
about
it.
you.
You. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Wow. So that has to be mind blowing for people right from the beginning.
Well, yeah, it's gotten like I said, I am blown away by the response of my early readers.
Wow.
And one of my early readers, Susan Jones, she's a wonderful woman. She's a beautiful coach. She does all the things, and she has no children. And she
Mm.
was like, "Well, how does this? What is this going to do for me?" And I said, "Just read the early chapters, and then we'll talk." Well, she called me back and she said, "Oh my God, Vera," she said, I had what she calls her words, not mine, a spontaneous miracle when I read these words. She said, my body was like electric. And she said, I just felt things that I didn't never felt before. Like I wish you could hear her say it. And then she went on to say, I called my friend Tina and I said, Tina, I have to give you a gift. And Tina was like, okay, what's the gift? And she said, I want to read something to you. And she read her the chapters. Now, I didn't know she was doing this. She called me up after the fact. She was like one of the very first people to read the early chapters. And she said, she read this to her friend, who, while she's reading it, the friend is going, how does she know me? Like, how does she know my story? Like, and she was laughing and she was crying. And I'm
Wow.
going, oh my God. And Tina wanted to meet me. So can you? I'm going, okay. So I met Tina on the phone and she shared with me her experience of what happened in her life almost immediately
Mm.
after Susan read her the chapters. And another friend had another visceral response like that, and then other people started coming in. And that's when I really started to realize, because, I knew when I wrote it in my heart, like that this was something different. But then I'm going, yeah, right, Vera, you wrote it. Of course you think it's genius. But when other people, you know, and then other people another layer out, and then
Mhm.
another layer out. I st-
Wow.
like God was talking to me through the whole thing, and I was like, oh my God. So that's when I knew, I knew, and I went to a retreat, a high, an energy two, and a level two energy retreat, a luxury retreat. It was fabulous. I mean, I recommend retreats.
Okay.
And on this retreat, like, when how they talk about, um, I mean, I heard this my whole life. I've been in personal development a long, long time, right? They talk about when you're in alignment, how everything is right there and you can't do it wrong. Well, I fought for alignment my entire life.
Mhm.
Looking for, am I in alignment? Am I in alignment? Am I in alignment? And everything I did, no matter how successful I was at it, was hard
Mm.
because I was always just off just a little bit, right? Well, through this journey, alignment kind of became a reality, and all the tools just kind of fell into place. And they're like, and the people and the responses, and it's like, oh my God. So
Mm.
I know, and I know it sounds arrogant a little bit to go, I know, but when you know,
Yes, you
don't you know what
do.
that means? But when you know that you know, and I know. So I think this is going to be, this is an incredible experience. You know, People want this work, and I can't even, like, I know I'm saying that, and I'm like, I can't even, because self promotion, that is really not my thing, but this isn't self promotion. This is people telling me this, it's
No, no. You are just being used as the channel for something much higher.
like,
That's what it is.
Yeah, I agree with that, because when God told me, and I had what I call I've been in business for 25 years. I've been a fitness professional for 25 years. I had a personal training business. It was fabulous. And I taught mindset work and behavior modification. And it was always, that's the hard part, because it was mindset work and behavior modification. How many calories could you cut? How many avocados could you eat? All the things. Could you weigh it? Could you count it? Could you restrict it? And that, in that arena. So, and we do that in all areas of our life, right? But I use diet because we could all relate to what I'm saying when I talk about food, right? And
Mhm.
it's just hard when you're trying behavior modification. But when you can get in your body, because we don't change in our heads, that's mindset work. That's
Right.
um, that's control, But when we can truly get into our bodies and liberate all the things, and we don't even have to know what they are,
No.
because we've had them for, like, I had my wounds from in the womb. I was wounded in the womb, is the way I talk about it.
Mhm.
And then I came out and I was wounded already, and then you just build on top of that.
Yep.
Most people could pinpoint back to a point where, like, that thing happened to me, and I became limited. I couldn't be a public speaker or whatever it is. But yeah, it's crazy, and we can liberate that. And that
Yes.
becomes then an ongoing process. And the work that you learn to really get into that place of liberation, those are the tools of the divine. We all possess them.
Yes.
And even that, I would roll my eyes and think, oh my God, here we're talking about it's already in you. And until I broke and it came through, then it's like, it really is in you.
Yep.
It is.
It is, it is, and I love the word you keep using of liberation because freedom really is the essence of the human spirit, and we get so, it's like we become handcuffed to everything.
We become bogged down in this. I have to do more. I have to be more. I have to get more. And how am I going to get it? Until we go, wait a minute, and we feel it. And then instead of saying how, we just allow. And
Mm,
that's a shift. And what you allow, then it's always the right thing. Like even just being on this podcast with you, that was just that's allowing like the universe to bring you the right people. And then my friend Rhonda from the Empowering Women Alliance, she
mhm.
said, "You've got to meet Cheyenne." And I think she might have said the same thing to you. And we get brought together, and it
Yes,
just happens like this instead of like this. And it's
that's right. That is it. You got to get to that space where you can just attract. I mean, yeah, and I get it. Now I would love for you to tell just a little bit more about that experience that was such a shift for you. You called it like a near death experience?
Oh yeah, well that's really a story for a bigger time, but I will give it to you in a nutshell. So um, I don't know if I said this already, but in 2019 I got endometrial cancer, and I did not battle cancer. It was removed. I needed 3 radiation treatments. After my second radiation treatment, I was watching TV. I felt fine, but then I started to feel a little bit weird, like I was getting a nauseous stomach. And I stood up and I ran into the bathroom where I had a full blown breakdown. Had to rip off my clothes. I felt like I was suffocating. I had no voice. I was 61 years old, and this was after decades of suppression, suppression, suppression. And I couldn't suppress one more thing, and I couldn't even take a breath. I couldn't call for my husband. I had no voice. And now I'm on the floor over the bathtub.
Oh my gosh.
I can laugh about it now, but back then it was quite friggin' freaking me out. And I just kept on saying to myself, repeating, stay here, Vera, stay here. Because, and I've done enough personal development work to try and like talk myself into staying present. But God was there with me and he said, enough, Vera. And I was like, what does that mean? What is enough? Like, show me, what am I missing? And I just stayed there, and this continued on. I don't know how long it continued on for, but eventually I was able to stand up, and that started this leg of the journey for me. And when I tell you, like what I had to process through, it was crazy. And the way I processed it, and it's like, oh my God, but it's a personal journey.
Yes.
And I met people along the way because he gave me the tools, right? He put the
Mm,
people in my life that were able to help me through it. And it's been a 5-year journey to get to where I am today. It didn't just happen. And you repeat the process, and that's the thing. What I teach, what I talk about is we have to get to a place where we can stay with ourselves through it, because once those feelings start to try and rise, we want to push them away. We want to go in the kitchen and get something to eat. We want to make a phone call. We got to clean the dust bunnies. We distract ourselves. We got to go smoke a joint. We got to do whatever we got to do, right? Distract ourselves from allowing that thing because we're so afraid of it and we don't even know what it is. But that's the thing that's hurting us. That
yeah.
was the cancer that I got, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no doubt. They say there is normally an emotional root to,
That
something is basically eating you up.
Exactly. So that led me, and that affected my relationship with my children and my husband. And it wasn't all fun and games, while I was going through it. But I knew it was the right road to be on. And then got my husband is saying to the kids and my BFF, what's going on with Vera? Like, what's the matter with your mother? And I'm walking around the house going, woo! I didn't know what it was, and for as much as work as it was, I knew it was good. I just knew, and I trusted God, and I stayed with the process. And all the time I was writing like a lunatic. And through the process, it started to fine tune. And then I started to learn about estrangement because it's everywhere. And my
Yes.
son-in-law has a little bit of an, a little bit, I want to soften it because it's my son-in-law. He's basically estranged from his parents. They live in Ohio. And that creates a barrier for me and my grandchildren. And they
Mm.
don't realize that. And it was a fight. And I was trying to talk to them about it, and they didn't want to hear it. And I'm going, what the hell? Like, what is wrong? Like, why can't we have this conversation? And they were shutting it down. So I started doing this work, this looking into and studying. And I discovered that estrangement and um, what do they call it? No contact and limited contact. And they have all these buzzwords now that, that they're being taught these young people. Not that estrangement is anything new, it's always been around,
Right.
but the way they estrange today feels different. And it feels like it's commonplace. And that really turned my heart. And
Yes.
the more I started talking to women that are broken beyond anything that you can't say anything to them to make them feel better, but
Mm.
you can help them to find something within themselves. And because I walked that road with my own children, my son too, and his wife, there's, and you get to a place where when my energy changed because of this,
Mm.
their energy started to change.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. We can't talk it, we can't think it, but when we feel it and our energy changes, the energetic connection with everybody else changes also.
Yes. Yes.
And
Absolutely.
this
Wow.
is what women are asking for. I mean, I had one of my early readers, she said, I've read a lot of estrangement books, but nothing cuts through the noise like this. She said, your words gave me language for an ache that I've been carrying for years. See, we don't know how to talk about this.
Mm-mm. Nope.
We don't know
Nope.
because we feel embarrassed. We're ashamed. It's like, you know, like we're out here in the thousands, the millions. And this is the conversation. And really, you don't have to be a mother or a father or estranged from a child. It could be anything.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not only that. Yeah, I know I'm very long-winded. I'm sorry, but it's like, oh my God, I'm so passionate about it. I'm like,
Yes, and you should be. I mean, you are describing one of the key pieces to suicide prevention.
yeah,
And just like what you're talking about right now, we have the same stigma around suicide. Nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody feels some kind of guilt or shame, or I should have been able to stop it, or, all of these crazy things. And it's like, no, the silence is killing us,
yes.
literally.
And we need to be able to get to a place where we can hold both the pain and the love because this is all generated by love for these people. When
Hmm.
somebody commits, loses their life to suicide, the people that are left behind, you're right, they feel guilty,
Yep.
you know. But
Yep.
if we love them, we can't change them, we can't fix them, we can't do anything for them really, but be there to support them. And ultimately, that choice is theirs.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
the duality of
Hmm.
what we have to be able to reconcile within ourselves. It's such a big conversation. I love it. I don't love the suicide conversation because it is hard. But you know what? Equally devastating, in a sense, because nothing is more devastating than losing someone like that.
Hmm.
But for these women and even these men that are and siblings, that they have a living person that is estranged and they don't talk to them. No communication at all. You know, in a sense, that's even like that's hard too. That's equally as hard. Because now
Hmm.
you're grieving a death of a relationship with somebody that's still alive,
Live. Yes.
you
Yeah.
know? And, it's like just another different layer of the same conversation.
Hmm.
Yeah, oh, it's deep, it's deep, and we shouldn't get so deep here because it's really an exciting time, and my book is releasing on September 9th,
Yes.
and, I don't know if you have show notes, but we could put a link in, do you have show notes?
What I just do is once I post the video, I make sure you've got the link and I invite you to come and put any contact information in
Oh,
there that you want. So if there's anything you want to speak about right now in ways that people can connect with you, that's a good place to start.
awesome. Well, you know what? I would love to, invite anybody that wants to know more about the book or the work or what I'm doing in the world, because this work is not like, I don't know that this is going to be like, I think it has the potential to be a number one bestseller on the New York Times bestselling list. But I think
Sure.
it's going to get there through the venue that God has shown me that this is an organic reach, because the people that have read so far, they say, I want to buy 5 copies because everybody I know needs to read this, because there's no judgment in this work.
I love it.
There's zero judgment in this
I
work.
love it.
There's no preaching God is the only way, which whether you believe that or not, I don't care. But there's no preachy. I'm not telling anybody what to do. And if they want to reach me, just find me on Facebook. I'll pop right up. Vera Knight. You can't miss me. And the link is there to to get even just a chapter, the first chapter, to see if it resonates. And it does. It'll hit you right in your soul.
Well, and I think I heard you say that you're also working on building a group. Can people join your group?
My group is amazing. That's been yes, I do have a group, and this one is going to be, so anybody who um, gets the book is invited into a free book club,
Mhm.
because I want to be able to hear women's stories. Women want to tell their story, and they want to tell it in a safe space. And when you tell it to other people that are, struggling in in something of their own in a similar way, and you're in a space where there's no judgment, there's no comparison, and there's no expectation, you feel different and you share differently.
Yeah.
And you don't have to share anything if you don't want. People come and just listen and receive until they're ready, right? So we're
Yes.
doing a free book club, and I do then have it's called Pages to Presence, where we then, if you want to go deeper, where I teach the energetic tools of this work. This
Nice.
isn't just about reading and saying, "Oh yeah, I got that." This is about embodying the energy of it, and it's just so how I had one of my clients and say to me, and her testimony is on my website somewhere. Um, in I have had more transformation, more peace, more healing in 6 months with you in this group than I had in 34 years of counseling.
Wow.
Total. She speaks it. I've been to every counselor in Tucson, Christian or otherwise, and in 6 months. Now that's a testimony.
That is a testimony. There
And,
is
and
no doubt.
it's,
No doubt.
it's
Wow.
seriously amazing. So Vera Knight on Facebook. I know Facebook is, old hat for some people, but I'm still there.
Oh, I certainly am too. So it's all good. It's all good. And like I said, thank you for being part of the solution to so much of what we're passionate about too, in terms of just saving lives. So, that the fact that you are developing an important solution piece, I am grateful to know that. So
And
tell me, have you got any amazing words of wisdom you want to leave people with today as we
mm,
wrap this up?
words of wisdom. I guess, the thing I've been saying forever, and it holds even more truth right now, is that if you're breathing, you're playing. You may not like the way you're playing the game. You may not like the rules that got imposed on you. But if you're breathing, you're playing, and you can always learn to play better. And it's just because you can take a breath. The breath is the key to transformation. And yeah,
Mhm.
keep breathing.
Wow. Thank you, thank you. That is awesome, and I accept that completely.
Thank you so much. You are so easy to talk to. And I'm just so grateful that I got to be here with you.
Oh, well, we're grateful that you're here as well. And hopefully, some other people will listen in and be interested in your book. I think you've created a game changer for sure for a lot of people because, what you describe as kind of the core of all this is we've all just become too separated. And as my group title implies, it's time for unity.
Yes. I look forward to collaborating with you as we go forward.
Absolutely. Well, thanks to all of our change makers for listening, and we'll see you in the next interview. Until then, have an amazing day. Take care, everybody.
Bye,
Bye bye.
guys.